And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the show of madness that is still to this day trying to beat Cool Hand Luke's egg-eating record for Easter, only known as Under the Radar. And no matter how many times the maestro warned us and how many times we get sick afterwards, yeah, we still can't beat that egg-eating record. There's only one Cool Hand Luke besides Cool Hand Luke Skywalker, which I think is the only other person who can beat that egg-eating record. Probably with the power of the Force. But besides egg-eating records, and I guess Luke Skywalker with his surname included in there as well, I think it's time for us to check out some screenshots and whatnots from the Twitterverse from this past weekend and beyond for another edition of the Force Squared Delight. And the first screenshot that we have up comes from the Twitter page of Light Tracer 2 with their screenshot from the video game Light Tracer 2. And the screenshot that they provided for this week shows our heroine arching back a bow ready to hit a target in what appears to be an ancient castle of some sort. Yeah, nice. And this screenshot automatically reminds us of a combination of not only Tomb Raider for some strange reason, but also a little hint, and I mean a little hint, of the Hunger Games in there as well. And no, Maestro, I don't think she'll pass for Katniss Everdeen because she has white hair, not, jet black hair for the whole thing where she did it during the Hunger Games. At least in the movie. I think in my mind from the books, she did have white hair. But that's a story for another day, folks, because here's hoping in the near future for this game that they give you a chance to use different elemental arrows to actually take creatures out. Because I almost forgot to include, she's firing back a fire arrow of sorts at that long-range target. Yeah, so here's hoping there's a chance that you can fire different elements along the way. And yes, maybe a chance to tie a string at the end of it and use it as some form of ancient zipline. Yeah, because you never know. You never know. The ground might be lava and you may need to do something like that. So here's hoping they'd add that too. And the next screenshot that we have up comes from the Twitter page of Skate Story Game with their game, Skate Story. Nice. And the screenshot that they provided for this week shows our crystallized skater actually trying to do a 50-50 grind on the side of a rail, only to hop off and just continue to skate down what appears to be a different world of some type, with a lot of pillars off in the distance. So after he's done doing a grind on that, what he's gonna grind on each one of those pillars, would be pretty cool to see if he can pull it off too. Maybe add a little kickflip in there too. But besides trick requests for this said game, folks, this game automatically reminds us of, I guess, the Twilight Zone, the Outer Limits, with a little hint of the secret world of Alex Mack and a splash in there of, Tony Hawk, I guess? Yeah, definitely Tony Hawk. And here's hoping in the near future that this Crystal White character is an actual character for the game, because they would say in the bar below it that it's their first grind and their first screenshot Saturday. Please be gentle. So yeah, congratulations on your first screenshot, 1, and 2, like we said before, hopefully this character is a permanent character in the game and it has some cool trick as a special move for how cool it already looks. Like Christ Air or something like that, where it shines light through it like a prism. Yeah, that sounds cool too. But besides cool crystal skaters that are skating in the Twilight Zone, the next screenshot that we have up comes from the Twitter page of Fallen City Brawl with their said game, Fallen City Brawl. And in this said screenshot that they provided for this week shows our fighter actually using an axe kick to take out 5 guys at once only to turn back around and finish off the other guy that tried to take her out, all in the process. Now, the one thing I did notice that when she did the axe kick and took out all those guys, it didn't count as one consecutive combo move. You know, as a combo of taking out all those guys, didn't count. Weird. And here's hoping in the near future for this game, besides a cool special attack, which I got a feeling the axe kick was her special attack, she also gets a chance to actually grapple a couple of the enemies to toss them around too. Yeah. And oh, before I forget, this game automatically reminds me of a combination of Streets of Rage with a little hint of Double Dragon in there as well. That is, if you can grapple your enemy and give them a couple of back kicks to the side of the head. Yeah, definitely reminds me of that. And the next game that we have up comes from the Twitter page of Claudio Tullio, nice name by the way, with their game, Artico. Man, a lot of O's at the end of all of this, isn't there? And the screenshot that they provided for this week shows our polar adventurer being pulled by sleigh dogs heading into a small cabin overlooking the moon and the stars. And no Aurora Borealis in sight. What? You know, at that time of the year, you thought you would see the Aurora Borealis, but apparently not. And this game automatically reminds me of, well, Balto. Definitely reminds me of Balto. Even though I got a feeling that this story has to involve the guy with the giant battery pack on his back that we forgot to mention, but I got a feeling the dogs will play a huge role during this story as well, and here's hoping they do. And also hoping that you get a chance to change dogs from each station you decide to, transfer off to. Yeah, definitely would be a nice thing for them to have, and also maybe a chance to build your own base along the way, just in case things get too cold out there in the middle of the night, because I got a feeling you'll definitely need it. And the last but not least game that we have up for this week, or should we say screenshot for this week, comes from the Twitter page of Away Series with their screenshot from the video game Away, the Survival Series. And the screenshot that they provided for this week shows our squirrel friends climbing up the back of a skeletal bone only to fly to the other side of a rigid mountain that appears to have a skeleton of some form of dinosaur. Now, I would have said it was a Triceratops, but that is way too big for a Triceratops. And Maestro says that it's a Stegosaurus. You sure? Well, until we can figure it out, folks, this screenshot automatically reminds us of not only Ice Age, but a little hint of National Geographic in there as well. Because I got a feeling they probably have stock footage of flying squirrels actually going over different forms of dinosaur bones. Yeah, I can imagine they do have it. And here's hoping in the near future for this game, besides getting a chance to pilot a flying squirrel across different forms of lands, they also allow you to customize that said flying squirrel to further its gliding ability when you're going to different lands such as this. Yeah, definitely. Because I got a feeling that squirrel could have gotten a couple of more miles out of that flight that he tried to do, but unfortunately may have been too heavy. So, yeah, here's hoping you can customize it. Or at least, come up with different flying squirrels that you could use during this. And oh, Maestro, good point. Here's hoping they add a race mode to it too, so you can glide with your friends to see who can make it to the end of these different worlds. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out any of these cool screenshots and whatnots from the Twitterverse from this past weekend and beyond, you can head on over to the Twitter pages of not only Oliver Snyder's, Octo Curio, Shot_Games, Playing Indies, Indie Rhymes, and even under the hashtag of Screenshot Saturday and shot_games just in case I forgot it. But if you guys want to go ahead and check out the screenshots that we mentioned for this week and get an interpretation of it for yourselves, you can head on over to our screenshot Twitter page, only known as the 00Agent0012, where Maestro put them all in a nice and neat folder that he's calling the Easter Screenshot Saturday Screenshots. Why don't you just call it the Easter Screenshot Saturday? Oh, he said change it to that. Alright, we will. And I guess with that said, folks, we might as well head back to that music once again. And when we return, we'll be back with another bone-breaking edition of the Wild World of Stunts right after this. So don't touch that dial just yet, folks, and stay tuned.